Hey.
Hey guys, it's the Starbucks Betas here today, and today I am going to be covering the necessary needs and some tips for first-time beta owners. So before we get into the supplies and the necessary needs, I'd like to say two things, and then I'll get on to some tips. That beta fish sellers and most sellers don't know, like pet stores don't know much about them. They give you a bunch of false advice. I have very sad experience with that, with a very beautiful beta. R.I.P. You know, rest in peace. You know, R.I.P. Sadly, they gave me very false advice that led to my beta dying early. So if you are willing to buy a beta, I'd also like to say that if you find one with like a ripped tail, like their tail looks, like kind of gone, that means they have fin rot. Fin rot is a kind of disease when the beta is not taken care of well. So if you are looking at them and you're like, oh, I can treat for them, I can do this, please don't think that. Because if they do have some sort of a disease and you're a first-time beta owner, you will not know what you have to do to care for fin rot. You can look things up, but more experienced people can save them from that store. You could just let some people know that these betas are in need. If you are, you're familiar with beta care, there's some betas that need saving. So you can do that. So now let's get on to the supplies. Before I get on with the video, I just like to show you Marlin. She is so cute. She was rolling around in the grass. I started recording. She is such a camera freak. She loves when I pull the camera next to her. Oh, hello Nemo. And the reason I can tell them apart is because Marlin, she's a girl and much bigger. And then Nemo back there likes to stay in the back and doesn't really like the camera. Hello. Okay, so let's get on to the... So this next thing is the inside of the tank, or tank management, I like to call it. So I would suggest rocks, not sand or any fake plastic rocks for betas. I suggest gravel. This is for freshwater and saltwater, but I use sand in my saltwater tank. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, I use sand, which is quite dirty. I need to buy starfish to start moving that around. So if you do end up buying, I do suggest something on the bottom of the tank so they can dig around. I know my betas love to dig in the rocks. They're so hilarious. I don't have any footage, but yeah. I use black rocks because I usually pick my rocks with my beta. But these are just leftovers from my last beta that sadly passed away. R.I.P. Goku, R.I.P. So, as you can see, I have been through a lot of betas, and sadly, I have brought some very expensive ones, which were very sick, and that have passed away. So the next thing we're going to need is, if it gets cold in your area, well, year-round, you should have a small heater for your small tank. This one was very cheap at my local pet store. I didn't go to Petco for this. This is it. Just has some suction cups, you can do it on the inside. I like to keep it upwards so the betas can't slip through and put it on the corners. But they said to keep it away from the corners, so I try to. It's very cheap. The wire should hit your outlet depending on where your tank is located, and I will be talking about the tank location after this clip. So that was done. Just gonna put this on the floor. Now the next thing I suggest is some Aqueon. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Aqueon. But it basically filterizes the tank, it clears up the water. So you put in a tablespoon or 5 millimeters per gallon. With mine, I put in 2 tablespoons, and I literally just take the little cup because it has measurements on it, and I literally go Okay, so that one's done. I'll just store it because it's empty. Now another thing is, betas do need a certain temperature. About 80 and above should be good. Nothing above like 90 degrees, but like 85 is good. Anything below that, anything below 80 is pretty bad. So I suggest like a little thermometer. We can read the measurements. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. So let's get into tank decor. Now, a bunch of you are probably like, I want plants in my betta fish tank. So if you are looking into buying some plants, if you do want plants in there, you can use live plants, but there is certain plants. I don't do live plants because I'm not really experienced with that. But if you do want some sort of like fake plants, if you are looking at fake plants, be careful. Make sure you can check that it's not gonna be like, it's not like super plasticky hard where you can't bend it. And the reason I'm saying this is because it can tear through your betta's fins. That is also a huge problem. This right here that I'm holding is a betta bed, which you literally stick on the glass. Oh, why am I holding this? This isn't a plant. But you can position it however you want, and my bettas sleep on this basically a lot. I don't have one at the moment because my brother's betta passed away, but he didn't know that, so very sad. So I'm sorry I'm rambling, but yeah, so you can always do these. Just make sure they're not very hard. This is very flimsy, as you can see. I can bend it and stuff. Well, it's meant for bettas. Another thing I do suggest is plants where they can hide in, or like a hideout like this. I got this at Walmart for pretty cheap. As my betta fish also like to sleep in here. I remember my fish, they used to like, at the time I had a shark and a betta fish together, and they did pretty well until, that's another story for another time. So they used to like sleep in here. It's pretty cute. So that's basically the interior stuff. There's only one more thing I need to cover for supplies, which is food. I really suggest these like dried out worms. It's very natural. It's good for the bettas. Dust. It's good for the bettas, or whatever's on here. Ugh, that's nasty. There's something on the container. So yeah, you can always use live worms, but I do use these. Okay, so let's get into location for your tank. The location of your tank should be somewhere where it can also absorb heat. So I have a huge window in my house, which is usually where I keep my betta fish tanks, if I do have a betta fish at the time, which I hopefully will be getting one soon, so I can post that in another video. But if you put your 2.5 gallon tank in a very cold room, your betta will suffer. They are very social. Even though they like to fight in the wild, they are very social with humans. They like company. I know that some betta owners, like me, like to put my hands in the tank and just like move things around. If you do that, please make sure you do not have soap or anything like food-wise on your hands. But if you have food-wise and they're gonna bite you, which has never really happened to me, but I just make sure my hands are nice, washed off with water, no soap, nothing that can harm them. And eventually your betta will warm up to you, and maybe, it depends on which betta you buy also. I used to pet my bettas. Like, they would come up to me and like play with my fingers. It was really cute. So yeah, that is basically it for today. If you do want to see like more betta care videos, please make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you do want a little bit more information on my saltwater tank, please let me know also in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if this did help you, and I will see you all later. Goodbye, my little Starbucks.